This video is going over the Engage assignment for the history of Greece, launch week for Unit 5, which is Greece. And this is Engage, Getting to Know Ancient Greece. So this is just your little tiptoe into the world of ancient Greece. So let's zoom in here. Let's start going over this, okay? So first off, I'm going to read the directions, and as I'm reading the directions, I'm going to clarify what the directions mean. So please follow along with me so that you can practice your reading, and that you can also make sure that you understand the assignment completely. If you are stuck at any time, you can pause, you can rewind. If you have a question, you can head on over to our classroom website, or if you're in the classroom, you can head over to our physical parking lot, but you can just go right over to our classroom website, and you can this is going to be in our Schoology section. You can go to ELA and you can just click on the parking lot and fill out any question that you might have and rate it on its importance so that it sorts it for me, and I respond to all the very important ones first. So if it's not that important, it has nothing to do maybe with an assignment, mark it as a 1. So now that we're understanding that, let's go back into our reading. So you are an anthropologist, okay? And I want you to look at what an anthropologist actually is. So you're going to click on that definition of an anthropologist. Listen to it. Anthropologist. One more time.
Anthropologist.
Okay, so an anthropologists are people that practice anthropology, which is the study of humanity. So basically, if you study humans, you're an anthropologist. They want to find out what makes humans humans, okay? So as an anthropologist right now, you are going through, and it is your job to discover what made the civilization of ancient Greece successful. Your first step will be to work in your group to determine everything that you know about Greece after watching the video below. Let's take a pause right there. The groups will be posted on Google Classroom, and you can find the group that you're in by visiting Google Classroom and looking for the Engage Getting to Know Ancient Greece groups. You will use the attached inquiry chart to type in everything your group knows about ancient Greece. Let's take another pause here. You're going to go ahead and open this inquiry chart, okay? You're not going to be able to type in this inquiry chart because I own it. So what you got to do for yourself is go File, Make a Copy. Now that copy is going to be in your drive when you make it. So you want to go ahead and put either your name, okay, you can put your name, or you can put your group number. If you put your group number, you need to make sure that you share this document with everybody. So after you make it, you need to make sure that you share it with everybody in your group. So if you make your own, you don't need to share it. You can just compile it later. But you need to make a copy. You will not be able to type on this document without making your own copy. I own it. Then you will decide what you still need to know in order to answer the driving question. The driving question is, how did ancient Greece become a powerful civilization? So as a group, decide what students will be researching what grapes: geography, religion, achievements, politics, economics, and society. Then start planning what other information needs to be collected. You will continue to add to the inquiry chart over the next 3 days. We're actually not going to be doing this for the next 3 days, and I'm going to be changing that date. We're not going to have as much time to do that, so I will put that in for just 1 day. We'll be going over it. More so 2 days, excuse me. As an anthropologist, you need to know some of the content-specific vocabulary that will come up during your research. There is a word bank provided. Click on that, okay? That's a link to a word bank. All right, so you have all these vocabulary terms. You have all those vocabulary terms. You will need to find the words that you don't know yet and begin to define those words using a CCD, Cognitive Content Dictionary. Okay, so we've done this before. I've done this for you. The CCD is a way to keep track of the new vocabulary that you are acquiring throughout the unit. The CCD requires you to write the word down and then predict what the word means before you acquire the actual meaning. After you understand the word, you need to draw a picture that represents the meaning. And here's some examples, okay? It doesn't have to be fancy pictures, just a real quick little sketch. It's all you need. Let's just take a look at these examples here. And you can open this document yourself, so you don't have to go at my pace, you can go at your own pace, okay? You will continue to add on to the CCD throughout the launch sequence, okay? Because at the end, we will be having a test on the history of ancient Greece, and that CCD is going to come in extremely valuable for you as far as notes are concerned. You'll be able to do a lot of what's on the test if you fill out this cognitive content dictionary for the word bank that's provided. You will meet with the teacher at least once during the class period to go over your CCD. So I'm going to hopefully be able to check in with you guys while you're doing your CCD so I can make sure you're on the right track. You need to post either of the two tasks after you finish them in order to move on to the next step, explore, okay? So you can post the cognitive content dictionary or the inquiry chart. It doesn't matter to me. Both of those things are basically the start of your notes. So what you do with them is up to you, but I will tell you that in the launch week, the history of Greece, you have a final unit, or I should say sequence assessment, followed by a self-evaluation. So you're going to be tested on the history of Greece. So everything that you do in these assignments is going to lead up to your test for the history of Greece. So I wanted to make sure that you guys have that down. So please make sure that you are taking the Engage assignment seriously and you're getting everything that you need to get done. So how do you fill out the inquiry chart? Let's take a look at that real quick. So as you're watching the video, you can do this on a piece of paper if it's easier for you. You can use your Chromebook while you watch the video and your iPad to take notes. You can use your iPad to watch the video and your Chromebook to take notes. It doesn't matter. You can do everything on paper and then transfer it over here, okay? So this is a little bit different. You're going to fill this out as you're watching. So what I know, what am I finding out about this, okay? So let's pretend that we are actually, or not pretend, but let's actually start watching the Khan Academy video.
Ancient Greece. In future videos, we're going to go into a lot more depth on a lot of these events and ideas, but this one is to give you context on the big picture. And just to start, let's begin with the name Greece. It turns out that the Greeks do not call where they live Greece, neither did the ancient Greeks. They called it Hellas. 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 And the word Hellas comes from Ellen. So this comes from Ellen, which is this legendary figure who is viewed as a progenitor.
So our first thing that we can put in that we are figuring out, and this may or may not connect to the question. You're going to want to decide the information. If you put every bit of information and it doesn't connect to the question, you're going to fill this up really quickly, and you're not going to necessarily have any information to answer this question. So what I know, the name of Greece, of ancient Greece, I should say, was Hellas. Okay? Not Greece. So Greece is a new name, and it wasn't their name. Now, it's a good little, like, almost like fun fact, but I don't know how much it actually relates to this question. So let's continue watching.
Of the Greek people. You could kind of view him as the father of the Greek people. And it's not well established in the historical record when Ellen actually existed, but this is where we get the name Hellas from. And it's very important. Do not confuse this Ellen, who was a man, with Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy was a different person. When I was a child and I heard about Hellenic things or the Hellenic period or the Hellenes, I was like, oh, maybe that's something to do with Helen of Troy. No, that's referring to the Greek progenitor Ellen. And so that's where the word Hellas comes from, and ideas like Hellenes, which is the Greek people, or Hellenic, which is referring to something that is Greek, or the Hellenistic period, which we'll talk about in many videos from now, which is this period of Greek influence, not just over Greece and the Anatolian Peninsula, but over Persia and over Egypt. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the big arc of history of ancient Greece. And it's believed that the Greek peninsula has been settled by human beings for thousands and thousands of years. And as time goes on, we'll hopefully understand more and more about them. But my timeline right over here starts with Mycenaean Greece, it starts with the end of. And as that empire falls, we enter into the Greek Dark Ages. And the reason why it's called the Dark...
So, one of the things that we can kind of point out that's happening over here, make sure I don't have the pen on. I want to show you guys right over here that we're getting to see from the map. This is something that we can write down. So, Greece actually is composed of a peninsula and it looks like other islands, okay? And it kind of makes like this little like barrier around here. So that could be one of the reasons why they were a powerful civilization. They had a geographical location that we can see here that's coastal, and then it has settlements in these little island areas just outside the peninsula. So that's something that we can write down too if we wanted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video on how to fill out the inquiry chart, and I'm going to link that right next to the inquiry chart so that you guys can take a look at that so that we can get in more depth. So if you need help on that after you're done watching this video, make sure that you go and you open up the how-to inquiry chart, and we can actually go along together and try and figure out some of the things that we need to do. I hope this helps.